Good evening, everyone. It's time for class. I'm Charlie Agambo, and I'll be your moderator for this weekend. So this is 5 o'clock, and I'm not pleased with the numbers we have. So please, party chairpersons, party members, calling your members to join into class. And while we settle in, we'll just give 5 more minutes for others to join in. And please do not miss today's class. Thank you, and see you by 5:05.
Good day, everyone. Lisa, are you there?
Yes, Idi. Good evening, Idi.
Have you spoken with Petra?
Yes, I am. She's joining now.
Okay. Thank you.
So good day, everyone. It's 5:05, and our facilitator is already in class. So today's class is strategy facilitator in class to take us on this goodbye of our facilitator this evening. Before Yebule, he is a respected political communication strategist and political affairs consultant with nearly 2 decades of experience in message development, political PR, deception management, and policy advocacy. Known for her clarity, depth, and strategic insight, Petra has advised political leaders, government agencies, and institutions on how to navigate public opinion, build trust, and shape narratives that drive influence and public engagement. She made history as the first female chief press secretary to northern Nigeria, serving the governor of Kogi State from 2016 to 2019. In that capacity, she led all state-level communications, strategizing media relations, managing crises, and improving public perception through transparent, people-centered messaging. Currently, Petra is the group head of corporate communications and customer experience at Credlanch Group, where she oversees multi-channel messaging, stakeholder engagement, and brand positioning across subsidiaries. Her work ensures synergy between corporate reputation and customer trust, an extension of her ability to connect policy, messaging, and public sentiment. So, among her core communication expertise, she is involved in message development and political branding, crafting persuasive, culturally relevant messages that resonate with constituents, reputation and crisis management. She's involved in guiding political leaders through reputational storms with strategic responses that promote credibility. On media strategy and public relations, amplifying voices through targeted media placements, grassroots engagement, and storytelling. On policy advocacy, she's involved in leading issue-based campaigns that shapes public discourse and supports policy change. On government relations, she's involved in building bridges between elected officials and stakeholders, strengthening alliances and policy support. Petra has mentored several young communicators and political aides, offering guidance on navigating political spaces with strategic perception. She's also the director of Libra Prime Communications, a consultancy specializing in political PR and strategic messaging, the founder of Anike Robots Clothing, ARC, where she combines entrepreneurship with advocacy, and the first female vice president of Ogori Descendants Union to accelerate her community development and service. Her academic portfolio includes a BA in sociology, MA in international affairs and strategic studies, an MBA in finance and investments, and an ongoing master's in philosophy in leadership and strategic studies, which collectively ground her in governance, economic policy, and strategic leadership. So, ladies and gentlemen, our facilitator for today, she has so much to give us, and we are ready to take it. So, please and please, let's listen attentively. If you have questions at the end of the class, put them in the chat box or raise your hands. Welcome, Ma. It's great to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Evening.
Thank you very
Okay.
much, my leader at the top. You know me, I must first, hail my political leader first. I remain loyal to your government.
My senator, good evening. Thank you for having me.
Good evening, Petra. It's a pleasure to have you here. I really look forward to it.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. I know that everyone's mic is muted and I can see all the hands clapping. Thank you very much for being here. And I hope that we would enjoy this session and I would learn from you and be able to also share what I think I know. So for this session, I have decided to, I'm waiting for the screen to be shared. Yes, I have decided that we should look at something a lot more relatable and very practical, and of course it's something that is happening right before us. And I'm talking about the topic for my session this evening is disruptive political communication in modern governance, and we are going to be looking at the Trump communication playbook. It's a case study in strategic disruption and media control. Please, if you have questions, if you have contributions, you know how you do it. Take note of them so that at the end of the day, we are going to have a very engaging session. Next slide, please. Okay. As always, I have come with learning objectives, and I hope that by the end of this session, all of us will be able to identify the use of superlatives and symbolism in political communication, deconstruct the anatomy of disruptive messaging, and be able to apply strategic communication techniques to governance. Then lastly, I hope that by the end of this session, we'll be able to evaluate the ethical and strategic balance in political communication. Of course, we are going to be learning from Donald Trump's playbook. Before we dive deep, I want us to take a minute to look at this slide. Before we look at the slide and because this slide is supposed to be interactive, I want to say that throughout the slide, you are going to be seeing that there will be no graphics. This is to ensure that we are connecting, because it's communication. As much as images are good, they help us learn, but I want us to be able to look at words and connect the words with, what we are able to build and what we are able to conjure. So for this slide, like I said, is an activity. After reading it, if you have something to contribute, please show of hand. You just raise the hand. And then we are looking at power, message, and impact. When you hear "Make America Great Again," MAGA, yes, we can, or "Build a New Nigeria," what are the emotions that each one of these evokes? Which message feels more believable to you? Which one felt more believable? And what do these slogans say about leadership and communication? So please, you can look at the three and decide how you want to answer it, whether you want to talk about the emotions that any of the three evokes or all of the three, and then the message that has felt more believable and why, then what each of the slogans say about leadership and communication. You can give us one or you can give the three. So let's go. Show of hand. This has to be participatory. So
Charlie, I think we have hands up.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Lisa, please help moderate that because I can't see any hand.
Hi, ma'am. Kunle Lawal, I've asked you to.
All right, thank you. Good evening, madam, and good evening, coordinator. For me, make America great again, build a new Nigeria. Both of them connote that there is a place or speaking to arousing an emotion that says that there is a place that we can actually be, which is better, or where America or Nigeria can be, which is better than where it was. And this will resonate with some class of people or some sector of people, may not necessarily be for everybody, depending on the person that is actually interpreting this. for an average Nigerian, right, this will speak to, okay, it's the same cliche and may not really carry so much meaning in looking at our present situation and where you expect or where you are getting this kind of comment from. For Make America Great Again also may not be that much different from a Nigerian perspective as well, to say, okay, just trying to arouse a feeling of the fact that we can get to a better place, but by who? Through how, right? Those are the things that is just running through my mind. Yes, you can, right? Yes, we can. It's just so trying to arouse a kind of an emotion to calling people to action as to what is expected. So for me, generally, as leaders, um, there is also a perspective of speaking is important as well, in order to be able to create a message around yourself, create a kind of charisma around yourself that people can be able to relate with, right? For me, in the political space, it's not really carrying much of a meaning, but if it's probably in a private sector, business sector, one can say, this is what this person is known for, and whatever emotion the person wants to evoke will be carried by the people more than the political space. That's just my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Do we have any other viewpoints?
All right, Paul Stephen, I've asked you to unmute.
So good evening, our facilitator and everyone here present. So with respect to the questions, for me, what emotions did each invoke? The emotions around it is that it has a way of sending sentiments like, okay, let's pick Make America Great Again. Donald Trump understands the peculiarity and the needs of Americans and the need to make the country great again. So that slogan sends a message, or it raises the emotions of Americans to know that his focus is them. Coming like something, build a new Nigeria. It's ideally the message should be that you are focusing on Nigeria. The current Nigeria that is here is not good. So you are focusing on a new Nigeria, and so you'd want to bring the emotions of Nigerians or the electorate or people generally to buy into whatsoever you are selling. And then which of these messages felt the most, believable, and why? For me, I think Make America Great Again is more believable, because we've seen Trump in all he does, his focus primarily is America. Everything that will make America better or make America at an advantageous point, those are the things he does. His policies and all is centered around America. And maybe because he has served his first tenure and then this second tenure, we are seeing him put his words to action, and that one can be more believable. Our politicians in Nigeria have told us a lot of things that after elections they tell you they'd never said so. Like one of our former presidents of blessed memory, he said he didn't see what we are demanding. And then what do these slogans say about leadership and communication? For me, these slogans are supposed to give us, or give the leader, it helps to give the leader or the electorate the perspective about the leader, what his focus or her focus will be, and the direction of leadership or governance when they are elected. And so, like Make America Great, it talks about everything there. His focus is America. That's why sometimes even others that are not Americans and all, Trump will just come up with ideologies or policies that he feels or believes are for Americans. So the slogans helps to send the message to say that this is my focus and this is where we will stay on, and then we will build on it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Do we have a female who wants to speak? Because I just want us to take 3 people and we move on. We'll have time for contributions much later. Any female?
And I can't see any females' hands raised.
Sorry.
Okay, so if we have no females, let's move it on. I'll come back to this slide. This is slide 3. I'm going to come back to slide 3 in a little while. He who controls the story controls the power. This speaks to what I believe from Donald Trump's use of the media and his own strategy, what I believe drives him. I am very sure this is his ideology. He wants to control his narrative, he wants to control his story, and he wants to be able to control the power that he wields. Now, who is Donald Trump and why does he matter in our conversation? Why are we discussing Donald Trump when we are talking about political communication? Donald Trump was a political outsider. He was a businessman. He was into real estate. He was a celebrity businessman. So he was in showbiz. He was in real estate. He straddled both entrepreneurship at the top level in America and celebrity lifestyle. Okay, a female said that her hands are raised. She's female. Please, can we go back to accommodate her? Is it possible?
All right, Shoma.
Thank you.
Oluwaseyi, I've asked you to unmute. Oluwaseyi, are you here?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. And good evening. So I just wanted to point out the use of what yes. Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm mute.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hello?
We
Yes,
can hear
we
you.
can
Please
hear
go
you.
ahead. Go ahead, Oluwaseyi.
Okay. Thank you very much, man. So I was saying that I wanted to point out. Okay. Okay. So
Oluwaseyi, your network is a bit, I think it's bad. All right. Okay, I think that. Okay, so we're talking about Donald Trump. At the time that he came into power, Donald Trump took over from Barack Obama. And Barack Obama's slogan, by the way, for his political campaign was, "Yes, we can." Barack Obama, as we all know, or I believe we know, is the first Black president of America. Not just Black president, but he wasn't American, that is not the Black American that his parents or his ancestry is traceable to slave trade. His dad is from Kenya and a migrant. So an immigrant in America whose son became president. It happened. And of course, that he won his election twice in a row. But Donald Trump realized that there was deep-seated resentment against Black people as a result of Donald Trump's, Barack Obama's emergence as president of America. And during his campaign with Hillary Clinton, while they were trying to get the ticket, the Democratic ticket for their election, the very first one, Hillary Clinton, of course, she went solo at certain points during the campaign. It's politics, right? And sometimes politicians go as low as they can. And she brought up the fact that Barack's name is Hussein and that he couldn't be trusted, trying to put affiliation to religious inclinations and stuff. So America was a bit divided. Barack won, they mended fences, but then the harm had been done. That had been done on one hand. And then there were the very, very racist, white supremacist Christian evangelicals who felt that no, it shouldn't have been. They were not happy. There was the political angle to it, and of course, there was the racist angle to it. So Trump cashed in on that. He took advantage of it, and he rose to power, his first tenure. And he understood that attention is a currency in modern politics. If you're able to garner attention, you're able to get people talking about you, and you're able to sustain that attention, you have a very veritable currency in our modern politics. And then what Trump did, that's why the reason why we are studying him today, or why we are discussing him today and his playbook, is that he collapsed the walls, right? He collapsed the protocols. The strategy was governance on Twitter. He has anything to say to any foreign government, and you are reading it on Twitter. And he's telling you, thank you for paying attention to this matter. And he has anything to say about opposition in his country. He does not have time for all those diplomacy. He doesn't have time to pass through any bureaucracy. He's sending it out on Twitter. He has something to say about Nigeria. He's sending it out on Twitter. Everything is on social media. So the media space, there was no wall. He didn't need gatekeepers. He was his own gatekeeper. At some point, he even broke down the gates. So he was just communicating with people directly and taking ownership of his narrative and control of his narrative. Whatever he wanted you to hear, you heard from him. He has, the White House has a chief press secretary, of course, but I don't think most people remember the name. I don't think I don't recall ever reading anything from the person. But Trump is doing his work without recourse to anybody. Sometimes he even does AI videos. Somebody sends him an AI video and Trump will sit there. No filters, nothing. And he still has command of his followers. We want to know why that is. Now, the theoretical framework, history. Political communication in governance. The definition simply means the strategic management of information, emotion, and perception to influence governance outcomes. I'm going to take you back to slide 3. Slide 3, we talked about different slogans and why anyone resonated with anybody. Almost everybody, the two people who spoke went with MAGA, right? I thought that anybody would think, who said build a new Nigeria with me? Or who said build a new Nigeria? Nobody. Nobody ever did. Lisa, what are we doing about Oluwaseyitan? Are we going back, or should we just... Oluwaseyitan, can you take notes? Please take note of your contribution. And by the time we are taking contributions, you are number 1 on our list, please, so that we don't keep going back and forth and losing the flow of thoughts. Thank you. No president said build a new Nigeria. Nobody has said that. Maybe that's because we might be a mirror of our leaders. We do not remember that nobody has said that. And therefore, even it also means that we have lost trust so much that even if they did say it, if anybody said it, we don't believe it, right? So it means that leadership and communication have roles to play. Now, please, let's go to where we were, slide 6. Strategic management of information, emotion, and perception. Perception is why we do not even remember that nobody said build a new Nigeria. And if anybody said it anyway, we don't believe it. The perception. There is a trust deficit. Is it not Nigerian leaders? Is it not didn't we have someone of blessed memory who said he made campaign promises and he did not, eventually, not only did he not deliver on the promises, but then he also did not he came out openly to say that he never said those things. So there is a trust deficit. Somebody said, yes, someone said a new Nigeria is possible. Yes, somebody said a new Nigeria is possible, but it is not part of the examples that are here. So when the people are giving information in governance, it has to be strategic. Strategic means that you don't just, what is happening right now, especially in the governance space when it comes to communication, is that citizens are not aware. Let's take a look at the issue of insecurity. For instance, I follow the activities of government. I follow communication and the information flow of government. Maybe because I am naturally drawn to the job, or I'm drawn to communication because of my own profession. I don't know. But what I have realized, and sadly so, is that it seems to me like, especially as regards to insecurity, Nigeria has lost the perception war, such that citizens would gloat when what are these people called? Terrorists, bandits, criminals. When they kill soldiers, they will gloat. Somehow, you'd see the reaction. Maybe they don't mean to gloat, but they come across, some of them, as gloating. And then when soldiers say that they have also killed, it seems like, if you say so, but it's okay. If you say that you have killed some of these terrorists, we hope it is true. If that's the case, well done then, right? To the point they have lost it. Why? Because information is not strategic. It is not managed. The information does not evoke any emotion. Make America great again. Support our troops to make us safe. Nobody is saying that. Nobody is rousing. There is no emotion. The information just comes, is flat. People are speaking to Nigerians. They are dropping, people say, oh, but we don't know what government is doing. That's because government is speaking to a people, but not speaking with the people. There is no engagement. Just dump it. Whether we are interested or not, that's another kettle of fish, but they don't care. And so because it is not, you are not engaging with the people, you are not speaking with them, you are not, there is no connection with the emotion. And if you cannot connect Nigerians, you cannot connect an information to Nigerians' emotion. And it's not just Nigerian, it is a human thing. I was in a class, I took some courses at Lagos Business School, and I was in class. And one of the things that I remember the most is somebody said, there is nothing so difficult in life, no matter what the issue is, that you cannot bring down to the level of emotions. Our politicians understand that only during politics. They don't understand that when it comes to governance. They don't know how to connect information with emotion in order to have a perception that either you are doing the right thing, the government is doing the right thing, or that the wrong thing they are doing, they have a reason for doing it. There is no connection to it. And so there is a huge disconnect. There is a huge disconnect that has led to distrust. Now, how do politicians connect emotion to emotion when they want to play politics? What are those things that make us emotional? Our religion, our ethnicity, these two things primarily, they make us really emotional when it comes to politics. We want to identify, we want to connect with somebody we think is like us. It doesn't matter whether the person knows us or not. It doesn't matter whether we personally know the person or not. This person seems to be like me. Therefore, the person is like me. And that is why Make America Great Again connects with the American audience. This is our country, the white supremacists say. Who are these immigrants? And so Make America Great Again. Why? Because how are we going to do it? We are going to build walls. All these criminals from Mexico, we are going to ensure that they don't come into Nigeria. We are going to ensure that immigrants who come into this country and take the jobs that are meant for you is no longer going to be so, right? And he says all these things because it connects to people's emotions. They clap, they support. Humanity, information and humanity don't connect. You have to have reached a higher level of exposure, enlightenment, and civilization for emotion to connect with your humanity. Information just ordinarily connects with base sentiments, emotions. So you are killing terrorists. I remember once upon a time, somebody said, those are our brothers you are killing. You are killing a terrorist, yes, but that's our father, that's somebody's father. Because the person is not looking at the humanity of what these terrorists have done. The fact that these terrorists have also killed other people. It's connecting the information of Nigerian army has killed XYZ number of terrorists to his own based emotion of those are my brothers. Why are you killing them? So, and you must connect information, emotion, perception, strategically manage it to influence governance outcome. And who are the actors in this frame? We have politicians, we have media institutions, we have citizens. We have institutions like Electoral College, of course, we have the media, we have politicians, and then there is us. We are all actors. And what is the goal? What is the goal of this? What is this supposed to be? It is supposed to gain trust first and foremost, which is what we have been unable to do for a very long time. And it's getting worse in Nigeria. No government has been able to gain and sustain trust. The last time that happened, I think, really was during President Obasanjo's tenures, where Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, because at that time we didn't have this many security challenges. What we had was governance issues around fiscal discipline and fiscal governance. So what was she doing? Every month, by the time there was SPAC, when monies went out from the federation accounts to states and local government, the Ministry of Finance would take out pages and pages and pages in national newspapers to publish, calling citizens to call local government administration. At that point, the local government administration was still somewhat effective. Call them to account, call states to account. So everybody knew what was going where. These days, there are other institutions like budgets that does that. Look at how government spends, look at what goes where, look at how much states get from federation account, look at what purportedly is supposed to go to local governments. But are we interested? No, because the management is also not strategic. The management of that information is also not strategic. So what did Trump do? What Trump did was, yes, it's supposed to gain trust, right? But for governance, Trump flipped it. He replaced trust with loyalty. I say the loyalty is divisive because we see non-white Americans on this side, and then you see the supremacists on this side. To the point where if you go, sometimes every once in a while, I just go to White House or I go to Donald Trump's page and I am reading comments to the point that sometimes I read the comments and I say to myself, this person is a Black American. And I click on the person's profile. Sure enough, if the person's picture is what's on the profile, I'm correct. More often than not, the loyalty is so divided that it's when you see a Black supporting Donald Trump, people are wondering, like, how dare you support Donald Trump? Kanye West supported, or Ye supported Donald Trump, and so like all Blacks were screaming, Ye, how dare you do that? So it's so divisive that it is expected that Blacks should not support Donald Trump. Whether the reasons are good or not is not mine to say here. Slide 7. We are looking at Trump's communication architecture. What has it built? What is this house? Like I mentioned earlier, direct messaging. He has no gatekeepers. He is his own directly. He's tweeting to millions, hundreds of millions of fans across the world, whether they are Americans or not. He's using X as his press office. He just emulated the media filter. There is no buffer. He says it the way he feels it. And somehow, even people who do not like his brashness, people who do not like his politics, somebody like me, I don't necessarily like his politics, but I like the fact that he has refused to be politically correct. I believe that people should be able to be themselves so that when you are dealing with them, you know what you are getting into from the beginning. Am I going to be able to deal? Will I be able to cope? You ask yourself, you understand, so that people don't present this face to you during campaigns and then they flee. I guess that is also why, even after he left office, what's his name now? Joe Biden won him. He came back, right? He came back, and because people were able to say, okay, this is Trump. We want this anyway. We don't want a leader that is afraid, that needs to be politically correct to say certain things. So no filter. You either like Trump or you hate him or you respect him or you acknowledge his presence. And I think for somebody in leadership position, for somebody in power, an office as powerful as the White House, the mere acknowledgement sometimes is enough. Then simplification. Trump just reduced every serious thing that he needs to say. He kept on repeating. Well, he kept on repeating. It's still there. I'm going to talk about it. He simplifies it. Let's build the wall. Let's build the wall. And people are happy. Let's keep people out of America. Why are they coming into our country? As much as people try to say, oh, America is a land of immigrants, it didn't really stand, because build the wall is so simple. Just build it and keep them out. Sounds simple. Has it built the wall? I don't think so, but people believe it. Then there is the whole fake news. Trump is looking at you during a press conference and saying, oh, you are the correspondent, you are the journalist from the fake news outfit. So that's you. And he just destroys credibility by a simple two words phrase. Then it builds emotional resonance, because it's not Trump saying these things in a vacuum. Trump is connecting his information with people's emotions. People have biases. So definitely, whatever anybody says, there will be people whose emotions those things connect to, and there will be people who will disagree, because why? Human beings always have their biases. And so when Trump is saying that there is fake news, if you're a Democrat, you are like, what do you mean CNN is fake news? But then Republicans are happy. Oh, it's fake news. We've always known it's fake news. So it connects, and then there is that resonance emotionally. And the way he labels his opponents, Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, right? He frames competition and destroys credibility, whether the competition is a fellow politician, in the case of Crooked Hillary and Sleepy Joe for Joe Biden, or it's in a media institution like fake news, right? He tries to destroy credibility so that you have to now struggle to show that you actually have the credentials to speak on the issue that Trump is dismissively labeling you on. And because he consistently repeats his statements like MAGA, make America great again, it resonates so well that even Nigerians are saying that it's such a good caption and it is believable. Of course, there are the spectacles. After every rally, there's something is happening. It's either Trump says something. Nobody ever really remembers his campaign promises, but it is the way he bullies people. Bully in quotes, please, because that's my perception of it. It's in the way he bullies people. It's in the way he targets opponents. People remember that. The media runs with it. Oh, Sleepy Joe. Oh, Crooked Hillary. Nobody really remembers what policy statements he makes, because he turns the entire thing into a theater. He turns campaigns into theater, rallies into theaters. But what he continues to do is that he continues to build on his emotional community such that his base keeps getting stronger and stronger. And that leads us to the engineering, the emotional engineering. His messages appealed to fear. Oh, we are losing our jobs. Oh, Blacks are criminals. Latinos are criminals. We cannot allow them to come into this country. If they come into this country, we'll still be unsafe. However, even with all that campaign, if you check data, you would see that there's a lot of gun violence, right? From white people in America, white Americans in America. But somehow you have to actually check. These things are being reported, but Trump has made it to seem like it is other people who are not Native Americans. Maybe I should not say Native Americans because they actually are Native Americans. Who are not white Americans that are responsible for this thing. So he's appealing to people's fear. He's appealing to their frustration. He's appealing to their pride and ego. And he's appealing to their nostalgia. The good old days when you could travel from one southern state to another southern state and you will not see a nigger. Oh, the good old days. Is it possible to read our tongues of these people? Is this what this person is promising? Then let's do it. So Make America Great Again continues to trigger emotions, collective emotional trigger, not just from one person. He keeps repeating it, he keeps building, and then more and more people are saying, don't you see what Trump is trying to do? He's going to make this country great again. He's going to make this country safe for us. But then the facts of the matter, a different issue. And then he crafted a movement. It's not just a campaign that Trump was able to be, he didn't just win a campaign, he crafted a movement and he sustained that movement. When he was president, he built this movement. As opposition, he continued to hit, right? He continued to hit with that movement, and his people could not wait for him to come back. When it was time for the next campaign, they were all over. They took it over. So it was a movement, and Trumpism became a cultural identity. It was not just about political support anymore. It was about white for white. This is our country, so to speak. And what are the channels and tools that Trump has used? Like I said, social media, actually. He is real-time narrative control. Trump, a few weeks or a few days ago, I think it's still ongoing, Trump has been having face-off with BBC. He said that they tried to manipulate a statement that he made. They apologized without owning up, and he wants to sue them. He wants to sue them, and I think that's what he tries to do away with when he tweets real time. He just wants the control. If you see it on his timeline, then it's him. He cannot trust that fake news agents are not going to twist his words. So his television, he uses television, of course, but it's for provocative sound bites that are guaranteed airtime. He just says something, and he knows that the media works with sensationalism. People want to tune in, and they keep on and on those sound bites. They are repeating them. Analysts are coming to analyze them from different angles. He calls Joe Sleepy Joe, and they are bringing two analysts to come and talk about why would he even call a former president Sleepy Joe? Oh, it was because that one slept in one place, and all those things. Is it a metaphor? Is it real? Is it what exactly is it? And they are analyzing, and he's getting more and more airtime. Don't forget, Trump understands that attention is actually a currency in modern politics. He holds press conferences when he needs it. And then during his press conferences, he's actually confronting people. He's confronting people, most times media agents, confronting them, and then to amplify his message. So when you hear that Trump has confronted someone and is being, reported, you want to know the genesis of the whole drama, and he's able to amplify whatever it is that he's throwing out there. And then the merchandise, because MAGA became a cultural identity. It became a cultural identity. You have all the hats, you have flags, and they go beyond rallies, such that his rallies are a visual language of belonging. This is us. This is us, the owners of America. And so they wear their merchandise, and if you who are supposed to not be part of that cultural enclave, they see you wearing it again. Ye, when Ye wore the MAGA hat, it caused a shockwave across Black America. Why? Because this person is openly attacking your people. This person is openly the narrative and the argument is on another side. It's another issue. But then what I'm saying in essence is that it became like, once you have that heart, you are not identifying with just a campaign, you are identifying with a movement, with an ideology of supremacy. Now, what are the outcomes of this kind of style, Trump's style of strategic communication in politics and governance. He was able to control, or he's still able to control public agenda. He has disrupted media and institutional norms. The way things are done are no longer the way they do them now. You now see that White House, the things that were not the norm, right? White House should not post, a president should not post certain things. There was, I'm sorry, this is a bit dirty, but there was an AI video where Trump was in an airplane or something, and then he was spraying poof, shit over people. Trump actually posted that. That normally it's not supposed to come from a presidential handle, even if it's a social media handler posting. But he posts these things and he just disrupts everything that people have known about how public officials and government officials to comport themselves. He disrupted it. Number one person in fact, maybe the most powerful country in the world. Some people say China is catching up. Again, debate for another forum. But this is the most powerful president, political figure in the world who is just not doing things according to how we have been told they should be done. Again, one of the wins is that, like I said, he was able to mobilize a fiercely loyal base, and then he has created a global model for populist political communication. You want to be popular, Trump has created that you can actually do, straight from your heart, straight through your fingers, straight to your fan base. You don't need intermediaries. Now, what are the costs of his political communication to governance? That's what we are going to look at now. Trump delegitimized. Why am I saying black everything? Because there are other. Nope. That's not what I'm looking at on my system. What's going on? Okay, so Lisa, what you can do is please click on that box. After then right click, or if you go to design, you'll see when you go to design, right click. Oh, that means we will not be able to share this. If you are able to right click, yes, then the font color is not, I guess it is black. Change the font color to white. Sorry about that, please. Sorry about that. Okay, so maybe this is a good time to take Oluwaseyiton's feedback. We want to do that now, Lisa?
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Thank you again for the opportunity. So I wanted to comment on the first slide, or the third slide now, about Make America Great Again. And I wanted to add that when it comes to these constructs, I see the power of influence. And that makes me ask the question, who is saying what? In this case, it's, as we've been taught, Donald Trump saying, Make America Great Again. And you see, when I feel that when these political constructs are made, the person saying it gives it the power that it carries. It's unconscious. So, and I see here the use of vocatives, even though in this case, the vocative has been somehow, ellipted. Make America Great Again, you almost read it as let's make America great again. So there is that that is not there, but it still gives that consciousness, more like an invocation for a call to participation. So that's Make America Great Again. When the people say it, when they see it online, when they see it everywhere, it brings to bear in their minds a kind of collective ownership mindset, collective ownership of the nation. Like, it's on us to make America great again. So let's make America great again. And then it kind of give it a fierce patriotism where people now feel there is, it's more like a chant, like our facilitator said, that they're usually very short, and simple. So it's something you just keep chanting. And it has this unconscious power that it gives to the people, the populace now, making it look like they are the ones in power, actually, even though that's not exactly the case. So I see this as a conscious and deliberate work on the mind of the people. It's amazing that Nigerian politicians don't use this element as such, in my opinion, because like we have Yes We Can and Nigeria. I can't recall what the other one is.
Build a new Nigeria.
Yes, Build a New Nigeria. I just imagine that it's Tinubu that is saying that. Of course, whether personally, whether I agree with Tinubu as the president or not, that will resonate with me as a person, as a Nigerian. And it doesn't matter whether I like him or not, I'm going to find myself saying it. I'm seeing someone doing something wrong. I am tempted to say, oh, no. Yes. And we don't see our politicians use these elements in constructing, the things that they do politically. So that was just what I wanted to add. Thank you very much for the opportunity, man.
Thank you so much. You captured it perfectly. So, in essence, what Trump did was to give a call to action as a slogan: "Make America Great Again." Like, it's on you. First and foremost, you need to elect me, and then together we will make America great again. Together, let's make America great again. Whatever it is, there is an ownership. There is a sense of, like you said, it evokes patriotism. Let us do this. It's for our country. So imagine a president saying that, yes, I removed fuel subsidy, but it is because we need to build a new Nigeria. And then he comes out and tells you why those things are things that are necessary to build a new Nigeria. Build a new Nigeria where XYZ would happen, and then we would all flourish, right? So we don't do that, and that's because our strategy, there is no strategic political communication. What we have is a passing of information. Government has done XYZ. Government did it. What now happened? So even when citizens are listening, most times what citizen reduces that to is, okay, so does it put food on our table? Or government did XYZ with so amount. And then we run to town and say, can you imagine they spent this amount? Because government is unable to strategically manage that information to connect with our emotion in a way that speaks to how I benefit from what you are saying that you have done. How does it benefit me? Because human beings, first and foremost, when anything happens, they think about self-preservation, self-interest, right? So how does it, but when you say that you spend this amount of money to do this thing that you think is simple, it's not, it might be simple, but the impact of it in terms of development and human capital management is this. Then people are able to see it and say, oh, you mean in that town? Wow, people used to travel for 15 kilometers just for pregnant women to have children. Oh, wow. It arouses it just evokes a certain kind of empathy in you. That's the emotion it evokes. Oh, it doesn't matter what, at some point you want to think, right? That they spend too much money, but even you sometimes you are afraid. Will I come out and say that they have given data that pregnant women used to die just from not having access to hospitals? So is it me now that will come out and say the money is too much for pregnant women not to die again? And then somehow you tame it and you balance it to now create a perception. What is the perception? A government that works for the people, a government where everyone counts, a government where it doesn't matter that it is not a big community, but because there are people in that community, they also deserve access to good Medicare. So those are the things that we have been unable to do. They are saying that is how I sent it. Lisa, I don't know what's going on, but it's not showing like that on this laptop. And I tell you, I forgot my own laptop in Lagos Airport. So I just downloaded this from the mail I sent to you. I'm not using my laptop. I forgot my laptop yesterday at the airport in Lagos. So I downloaded this from the mail I sent to you, and it's different on my end. I don't know, maybe I should share my screen. Can I try to see if I can share my own screen?
Okay, ma, that would work. I just
Okay.
checked the mail again and it's still, I don't know what the challenge is.
Okay, let me try to download it on my own phone now because I'm using my phone to.
Okay.
I hope it shows. Where is it? I've sent.
Or you could share it by WhatsApp. Let's see if it's different.
It's different. So let me share this one by WhatsApp. I've downloaded this.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. You have it now.
It's still the same. I don't know why.
Okay, I could share from my own end, but it's going to show. Let me share my screen. Can I share my screen?
Yes, please, you can now.
The rest of the screen now. So can you see?
It's still black. I don't know
But
what's going on.
it's not black here.
Let me ask from the students. Maybe they can confirm, but on my end, it's still black. Please, can anyone confirm how does it look? Is it black? Is the background black or is it white? So they're saying it's black. I don't know what's.
No, the background is black, but the text, right? The text is white. The problem is in the other one. The background is black, but the text is supposed to be white. Trump's constant attack on the judiciary, media, and election systems weakened public confidence. That's in white.
Yes, it is.
Oh, but what I was saying is different. I wasn't seeing anything at all.
Oh, we were seeing it, but you
Okay,
can go
so
on.
no problem. No problem. If you can see, I have my system here, then I can see. I wasn't seeing anything. So I'm sorry about that, please.
Okay, we're thinking it was the background you had a challenge with.
No, not the background. Everything is black.
All right.
Okay, please share your screen. Thank you. We have an issue.
No, it's coming up shortly.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Sorry about that. Somebody will be out of charge. Somebody out of charge. Are we good? Bye-bye. We'll be back in a second. Lisa is trying to share the screen. Hello, Lisa.
Ma'am, I think she went off. Maybe her network got cut
Yeah,
off.
she
So
said
they
her
should.
network. Yes. Okay.
Emma, if I may, please, you can go on. We have shared your slides with the class already.
Oh,
So you
okay.
can go on, ma'am. Yes,
All
ma'am.
right then. Okay, so I'm on slide 12, slide number 12, and we are talking about the cost of Trump's political communication to governance. All these things that his strategies. What we've talked about the strategic wins. Now, what's the cost? The first one is that because of his style, you can't hear anything. Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you, ma'am.
Thank you. Because of his style, he delegitimized. What Trump does is to delegitimize people. So he looks at the judiciary and he calls the judges so-called judges. The media, he calls them fake news. He looks at Hillary and says crooked. For institutions, that doesn't augur so well. The electoral system, Trump was, you know how he communicates. He said he kept on repeating that the elections were rigged, the elections were rigged. And this is somebody that had formed a movement, right? He had been able to build a movement. He said that to the point where people were provoked to go and riot at the Capitol. So this reduced citizens' trust to that level where they did not have confidence in the electoral systems. They didn't have confidence in the judiciary. They didn't have confidence. Up to now, they don't have, some of them don't have confidence in certain media. So these institutions are supposed to be the guardrails of governance. Trump destroyed that. So that's one of the costs. The other costs is the rise of disinformation and alternative facts. So if Trump is saying somebody's hand is up, do we have an issue, please?
Okay, can you see the screen now, ma'am?
Yes, I can. Perfect. It's good.
Okay. All right.
I guess it was
What
a
slide
network.
are you on?
I'm on slide number 13. The rise of disinformation and alternative facts. So if Trump is saying that you cannot trust certain media, right? It became almost normal that unverified information is truth. If Trump says it, then is the truth. If a media organization that Trump has not certified as a medium of truth is saying it, or a medium of fact is saying it, then it's a lie. Whatever Trump and the media organization that he certifies are the correct one. So a lot of, even though he seemed to be against fake news, he now started making people look for alternative facts and throwing out as the truth, so long as they were from medium that or media that he thought were good. Now, repetition of false claims also made misinformation appear credible. If you continue to say things over and over again, sometimes people even begin to question their own cognitive abilities. You look at white and you say it's black, and you continue to insist that it is black. And you have a mass of people who are saying that if Petra says it is black, then it is black. And you are standing over there, you can see it is white, but there you have millions and millions of people saying, oh, for sure, that is black. You begin to question your own sanity, like, could it be that it's my eyes that are not working? Then maybe it's black. So this repetition made misinformation appear credible, and then it now blurred the lines between fact and fiction. So we now have fragmented information ecosystem and weaponized narrative. People can just weaponize anything and throw it out there, and of course, back it up with emotions, and it becomes almost a fact or even a fact in the political space. Then there is the heightened polarization and reduced trust in governance. So when I talk about reduced trust in governance, of course, he is the president of America, but it's a democracy, and so you have other arms of government. So if Trump is saying that, oh, the House led by Democrats have done XYZ, people just believe it. So there is us versus them, and it continues to deepen division. We saw it play out in New York, even though it's politics during campaigns. There's a lot of tension, but if you know Trump, you know that he even said it, that means he's going to reduce the funding that New York gets because it's them. And this is us. This is us. They voted an outlier. They voted somebody that does not belong in this space. Therefore, New York is going to suffer for it, something like that. So loyalty to personality has replaced loyalty to institutions. So if you are a Republican and you are a MAGA, you want to, if you are a Republican, you are in office, MAGA people who are advocates of MAGA would want to believe what you do. They will be loyal to you in office than to the system, whatever the office you occupy, because MAGA is an identity. MAGA is a cult, in quotes, please. I put that in quote. And then, of course, public discourse has become very toxic, reducing willingness to compromise and to engage. People are no longer engaging. What people are doing is just brick bats, because it's you versus I, is them versus us, and there is no meeting point, and it's not good for the polity. I'm on slide 15 now, and then I mentioned it earlier. His rallies were theaters. You just went there. A lot of drama, and it's the same thing that he's doing with governance. Is it getting results? Yes, it's getting results. But then, because he continues to prioritize showmanship, most people just hold on to the dramatic aspect of his governance rather than the policies themselves. So people are shocked that Trump would talk to a country like maybe China, and he says it over Twitter, and you are holding on to a particular line. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And what matter is it? People don't really remember what it is. But the uproar is that he has cancelled, or he placed a trade ban on Canada, and he has lifted it and placed it again. But what the real issues are, you don't really remember anymore, because there is no line anymore between governance and politics. There is supposed to be a time for campaign and a time to actually govern. For Trump, everything is mixed together because of his style. Now, what are the communication lessons we have learned? I decided that, okay, let's look at Trump and how he has changed the entire way of communicating, like we knew it. He's changed it. And the fact is that Trump is going to be remembered. You cannot forget Trump. You cannot forget him. He has changed the entire architecture of political communication. Now, we need to see, because we have seen that he has some wins and that there are some losses, there are costs, because when there is credit on one side of the ledger, there is debits. So we've looked at the credit and we've looked at the debits, and now we want to learn lessons for leaders. What are the lessons, the communication lessons for leaders in governance, looking at the Trump era? So the first lesson that I have put down here is that we need to protect the credibility of institutions no matter what. For Trump, what he has cost the system is that he delegitimized the system, and then there's an erosion of trust in the system. So whatever happens, uphold the integrity of democratic institutions, criticize constructively, not destructively, because the institutions belong to the country. Therefore, Trump is going to leave, but the judiciary is going to, American judiciary is going to remain. American media's institutions are going to remain. CNN won't fold because Trump is calling them fake news. Fox News will be there, but because he has so destroyed through his criticism, it's going to take a while to rebuild. And then strengthen checks and balances rather than weaken them. So the key message is that institutions are the scaffolding, a scaffold of democracy. It's what you use to support the structure. When you need to work on the structure, that's what you stand on. So when you pull them down just to prove a point, you destabilize the entire structure. The second one is that anchor your narrative in truth. We have talked about the fact that when you want to do something, you repeat it, call people, arouse them, work on their emotions. But while working on their emotions, you must be able to strike a balance between wanting to get citizens to act and ensuring that they are actually acting in the interests of the public good, so that it is not about just a selfish interest. Facts must be sacred. Whatever your narrative is, make sure that it is steeped in the truth. Admit and correct errors promptly, so that when people need to believe, they know that they are not lying. The other time that there was a mistake, they actually corrected it. So I don't think there is no, it is not a lie. If they made a mistake, they would correct it. So let citizens be able to trust you and be able to actually give you the benefit of the doubt, even when there are doubts. And ensure that your team is disciplined. When you have a team, ensure, if you are not the one pushing out the information, ensure that they are always pushing information out and engaging with people with the interest of the institution or the country at heart. The key message here is that credibility is a leader's most valuable currency, and so it should be spent only on the truth. Just ensure that people can believe. One example of a leader's credibility is Adesina Akinwumi. Adesina Akinwumi served in the government of President Goodluck Jonathan. No matter what opposition did, there has never been a time that his credibility was ever questioned, ever. To the point when, even after he served out of the government, when the government left, he had served out his term. He was Minister of Agriculture, by the way, and a new party came in. It was time for African Development Bank to have a new president, and of course, Nigeria was in the race. It was easy for all citizens to rise up regardless. His credibility has never been questioned, regardless of whatever party he hobnobs with, regardless of whatever party he served with. No opposition government, no opposition supporter, no opposition party has been able to do anything to tarnish the credibility of Akinwumi Adesina. The third lesson is that leaders should communicate for unity, not division. Leaders should never pen words. Leaders should never have engagement with citizens. Leaders should never push out information with the aim of causing division. Sometimes we say that, but it's the truth. Yes, it is the truth, but truth has to be measured. If you look at the overall goal, the bigger picture, and you see what your words are going to do to it, you have to say the truth in certain instances, but you do not always have to communicate it at that particular point in time. When tensions are high, when the climate is heated, do you need to say certain things the way they come to you? Or can you filter them? Or can you even pause them as a leader? So always ensure that as a leader, you are communicating for unity and not for division. And frame issues always around shared goals and values. The key message is that a divided people cannot build a united nation. I don't need to go too far. Nigeria is our case study. And then prioritize substance over spectacle. Ensure that your governance is by policy, not performance. If you are a showman, then make sure you are able to balance the showmanship, the performance, and the policy, because you cannot change who you are. You cannot become someone else. But then ensure that you are able to balance both. The visibility that you have when eyes are on you, when the media wants, everybody wants to know what the next thing you are going to tweet is, ensure it is used to clarify policy and not to just inflate personality. Don't center it around you, and make sure that performance metrics are the things that define leadership, not the spectacle you create around your personality. And the key message is, while spectacle may win headlines, it is substance that will win history. And history at the end of the day is what we are judged by. In conclusion, Trump was not just a communicator. He is a disruptor. He disrupted the way political communication has been done. And his era is redefining how leaders use words, emotions, and platforms, to the point that we are learning from the way he has chosen to define his own political communication and to execute it. And the future governance, right? That's why we are learning lessons. We must merge strategy with integrity. It's not just enough to ensure that the information is correct, it is credible, but you must be able to ask yourself. Strategy is long-term goal. Strategy is setting out plans in order to, meet a long-term goal, a long-term objective. So even with information, we want to put out this information. Why? How? Who to whom? At the end of the day, to what end? So we must be able to put those things together in a way that, yes, there is integrity, but there is strategy, so that as much as there is integrity, it is the information you are giving is not forgettable and it's not worthless. At this point, I want to thank you most sincerely for your time and attention. My final reflection is, you are learning about political leadership, how can political leaders leverage communication powerfully and yet ethically when governing? So I thank you very much for your attention, and this is the time where I take your questions if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. This is a new course to us, and you really did justice to it. We really appreciate you, ma'am. So, as usual, please raise your hand if you want to ask a question, or if your environment is noisy, you can just put it in the chat and we will attend to it. Thank you. Okay, we have a hand. Elvis, I've asked you to unmute. Go ahead, please.
Okay, good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
Thank you very
Elvis.
much. Thank you very much. I love it. Let me know.
Thank you.
Tell you the truth, that system is really a disruptive system. And I read the book by the ED, the candidate. It's the ideology behind what the ED did during his senatorial period. It's similar to what Trump did. But now, my concern or the question I want to ask, the American system has a constitution. All these things that Trump was doing, did he not in one way or the other breach the constitution? And was there no one to hold him accountable for that? That's the question I want to ask, please.
Okay. Should I answer, or should I take notes and answer all three together? Lisa, guide me.
Okay. Celestine, go ahead.
Elvis, maybe you can drop your message in the chat. I think your network is bad, so we couldn't get you.
Was it Elvis that asked the question just now? I got him. He was asking me if the things that Trump did he breach the Constitution? And if he did, was there no one to hold him to account?
All right. Okay, so you just want all the questions, then you answer them at once.
I think so.
All right. Celestine, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, Didi. I must say that your class has been really impactful. I mean, for me this afternoon, I think this is one of the first class I'm listening to with regards to political communication, and your case study is exceptional too. You, in the course of speaking, you mentioned something. You mentioned emotional engineering. That stuck with me. I had to quickly go and write it somewhere. Emotional engineering. And then you also talked about the fact that the media works with sensationalism, and that attention is a currency in the modern politics. Can you expatiate on the concept of emotional engineering as it relates to specifically Nigerian political landscape, for someone who is intending to use it or to use it positively to thrive in the system? Thank you.
Okay,
Did you
and
get
then we will take the last question by Victoria. Victoria, you can ask a question, please. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, ma'am, for the lecture. I would say that this is one of the lectures that he say they teach without the box. There is thinking with the box, inside the box, outside the box. And this one I would say is thinking without the box. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The question I want to ask here now is that with the Trump that we use, I would say maybe his own approach and everything, like I would liken it to thinking without the box. Coming into the situation of Nigeria that we're talking about, the Christian genocide and all that, and our leaders are still quiet. I'm somehow shocked. I don't really know. Is it when you're talking about communication, some sensitive things that whether you should think of when to say it, how to say it, or whether to filter it. I don't know in the situation of this Nigerian issue that is looking as if others are shouting on our own, maybe taking Panadol on our own headache. So I don't really know what can you say concerning the communication aspect of our leaders. I don't know. I find it difficult to understand what is going on. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I will not be able to take more questions because I'm already late for another meeting. I'm 28 minutes behind schedule for another meeting. So Elvis, thank you for all three of you. Thank you for your commendation. So I begin with Elvis's question. Elvis, I don't know if you saw a video 3 or 2 weeks ago of Senator Dino Melaye, where he was in a gathering, because the video didn't begin with, I mean, it was a social media viral video. I didn't know up to now, I still don't know what forum that was, but the question he asked stuck with me, right? And he said that during President Trump's swearing in, there was a question that was asked that was he swearing to abide by the Constitution? Was he going to act within the framework of the Constitution? And Trump said he didn't know, that it will depend. And Dino Melaye was arguing that for a country whose democracy is 244 years, that a president should not wonder, he should not think, he should not say it will depend. There should be no reason why it will depend on circumstances for him to work within the Constitution. Now, I have to say that I'm not an American and I don't live in America. Has he done everything to within the framework of the Constitution of America? I don't know, because the Constitution, what does the American Constitution say about inclusivity? What does it say about all American people? What does it say about governance and not being divisive? I don't know what it said, but if he has breached it, why have people not called him to order? It's simple. I mentioned it during the course of my presentation because he deleted. Let me tell you what's delegitimization does to a person, right? And we do it a lot. We even do it a lot on social media. You are arguing with somebody, you are having an engagement with somebody. There is a reason why when a woman is having an engagement with a guy and the guy does not seem to know what else he will say, you know the next thing he says? Ashawo, prostitutes. Why? They want to delay, like reduce your credibility, bring it down, deflate it. That sense you think you have, go and hide somewhere. Or that one is even like old, it's an old card now. It doesn't really work on women as such anymore. Time was when it worked on women. Or you had done something in the past. You did something not so good, not so proper, and then somebody throws it in a conversation. The only reason why the person throws it in a conversation is to delegitimize you. So what Trump does is that he casts a shadow over integrity, and that was why I mentioned it in as one of the costs of governance. It is a cost of governance, but it is what Trump wanted. Institutional erosion, there was no trust. So you are speaking, you are a Democrat, and Trump has so demonized Democrats in the Senate, in the House, that they are looking, American citizens are looking at them like, look at these ones. They don't trust them. So the people that are supposed to now be the guardrails of democracy, of governance, Trump has removed them totally. They are struggling to fight for their own credibility. They are fighting to show that they are legitimate. Judges are fighting to show that they are actually judges. They are not so-called judges. The electoral institution is struggling to show that they are credible. So what he has done is to ensure that while he's bullying his way through the Constitution, the scaffold that is supposed to help strengthen the structure has been weakened. So people don't even have a place to stand on anymore. Just imagine. Remember in the beginning, I said that I'm going to use words. As I'm using the words, please imagine images. So you imagine a 3 or 4 story building, right? And the AC up there is not working, and the house is so hot. It's so hot. You open the window, the weather is hot, and you need a scaffold to get that 4th floor outside. But then somebody has weakened it. So it's either you climb and you fall to your death, or you continue with the heat. So whoever is using the heat to destabilize the atmosphere in the house continues without any hindrance. So that's what, in my opinion, and from where I stand, has happened with the way Trump has been able to work his way through the American Constitution without so much as check or balance. One time, Nancy Pelosi tried to check him when she was Speaker of the House in his first tenure, and by the time he resigned from active politics a few weeks ago, we all saw what Trump did to her. Trump said she was a horrible woman. I mean, so you get what I mean, Elvis. Now, Celestine, you talked about emotional engineering and some of the terminologies that you picked from here, but you want me to speak to emotional engineering and how it can be used as a Nigerian leader, right? You are a Nigerian leader, and I think that I touched briefly on it. So, assuming I'm a Nigerian leader, or assuming that I'm the president of this country, and we have I did talk about the economy, and people are struggling. People are saying the economy is biting. Now, let's build a new Nigeria. And I am able to say, in fact, from the beginning of my presidency, maybe it will even be part of my campaign, build a new Nigeria, build a new Nigeria. So from your head, you know that this person is not coming with, the status quo cannot remain. And then I am telling you that it's going to be tough, because right now, Nigeria has cancer, and the cancer has metastasized. Now this Nigeria must not die. We need to perform a radical surgery, because the cancer is in the brain, is in the heart, is in the marrow of the bones. It is everywhere. The surgery has to be radical, and then there's going to be other medical interventions, chemotherapy, radiation, everything. We are going to do everything, all angle. And then in your head, you already know that it can't be easy. It's not going to be easy if this is what is going to take. And then patriotism comes. And you are seeing it because I did talk about integrity and strategy. So you have the strategy, you want people to be patriotic, you want them to, contribute their quota to ensuring that we are going to face this hardship for the next the strategy will tell you that this is the path we are going. We are going to walk 20 kilometers. When we get to 5 kilometers, we'll stop for water. That's strategy. Then when it gets to 7, we'll eat food. That's the strategy. It plots the plan. And so the integrity part is that government is not asking you to drink water while they're drinking milk. Government will not ask you to fast while they're feasting. So they bring the integrity. If I were president, perhaps, I don't know, maybe it's easy to say, I don't know. But if I was president, I would bring that integrity to say, okay, you know what? Look at me. I'm leading from the front. I'm not telling you something that I cannot do. Look at my child. She's in private school. I am not saying what I can't do. Yes, I will go to the best hospital in this country, but so can other people afford. And so I am increasing doctor salaries, reviewing the welfare so that other people can also access the same hospital in Nigeria. So when I say build a new Nigeria, you are seeing me doing it and you want to do it. So that's emotional engineering. It's not just in the slogan, it's also in the action. Somebody mentioned in the beginning when I was talking about what the statements, what those slogans evoked, the person said that it evoked patriotism. And which one did he believe the most and why? He said MAGA, because when Trump says make America great again, everything Trump does, whether it's good or bad, is centered around America, the interest of America first. He's making deals. It's about America. Even the fight that he wants to come and help us fight in Nigeria, there is the American interest to it. Yes, we are going to benefit from it, but Trump is not a Santa Claus. There has to be American interest in it. So if I am saying build a new Nigeria, then emotional engineering means that you are connecting your actions with the words and then it's resonating and people are buying into it, and so you reduce problems, you reduce issues, you reduce situations to emotions, so that you get people to buy into it with their own. They invest their emotion into it and then they go beyond emotion to actually now doing what they need to do. Don't forget, like someone said, is a call to action. So emotional engineering, you engineer people's emotions in order for them to key into your strategy and become a part of what you want, a part of a goal you want to achieve, and you use them to achieve it. I hope that answers the question. Then the third one was from Victoria, and she was talking about especially the communication aspect of insecurity as it is now. It all boils down to the entire communication style of this government. I really don't know what is going on. I'm not in government. I know I had been in government before, so I know that sometimes inside what you see is not always what people outside see. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there's something else that we don't know. But from where I stand, they just seem like all they do is just information. That's all. If you like, believe it. If you like, don't believe it. But it goes way more than that. And I think that for me, it's also about the people that are entrusted with communication. There is not much of communication going on with government. What we have is information dissemination. I think I mentioned that during the last cohort. What we have is information dissemination. There is no strategic management of information, as it were. So people are demoralized. Now, what government is doing, government is more focused on, specifically now to the question you asked, government is more focused on proving that there is no Christian genocide, whereas what they should be doing is engaging on the whole issue and actually now getting Nigerians to see that. And it is the result of, there is a particular slide where I mentioned that divided citizens cannot build a united nation, right? And I said Nigeria is a case study because we just see things from our own point of view. So yeah, they are killing Christians. We will talk. If Muslims like, they are killing you people. If you like, don't talk. But what government is supposed to do is supposed to rally all the viewpoints, make Nigerians realize that we are all Nigerians, Christians, Muslims, atheists, whatever. Human beings are being killed. That's what the thrust and focus of government communication is supposed to be. And then you see the COAS, the Chief of Army Staff, a few days ago said that the 100,000 or 10,000 people that were recruited, they did not stay. For me, in my head, I'm like, why are you telling us this? Why are you telling us that they did not stay? So let there be unified information. That's what makes it strategic. It has to be, you have to collate everything together and decide what exactly are we telling these people. It is not propaganda. It is sieving for impact. Sieve the information. Then what do you want them to do with the information? I don't think that before they come to us, they actually think of those things. Like what are we supposed to do with the information? When we hear this information, what do we do next? Right? What do we do next? So those things are not covered. If they were covered, then there would be call to action, simplified information. All the press releases they've been given, I remember the things they say because I follow, but I can't remember for sure that there is any particular phrase that continues to ring in my head. So for the insecurity, right now, citizens, if communication was good, citizens should be angry and say that, yes, even America is coming here. They are going to help us with maybe information. They're going to help us with weaponry. They're going to help us with it. We should be saying no to, not no to, because we didn't say yes in the first place. We should be rallying. The troops should be seeing our messages on social media and they should be energized, not deflated. Today, I saw a message from, not a message, a post from somebody I know is in the Nigerian military, a young officer. And he said, he made an entire post and said that when he comes online, he's demoralized by the things Nigerians say, that he has lost colleagues to this fight. And then when he comes online, it's as if Nigerians are literally hailing this. By the way, Edie, I'm going to forward that post to you. I remember where I saw it. He thinks that Nigerians love the bravery of the terrorists over the bravery of the Nigerian soldiers. I felt for him. And I was like, this is as a result, Victoria, this is as a result of a breakdown or a lack of focused communication that calls citizens to action. Action doesn't mean we are going to pick up arms and go and fight. Action can just be that we are supporting the Nigerian troops to say, you can do it. I'm not talking of APC or PDP or any party. I'm saying that Nigerian troops have no party. It is just about the country. They lay down their lives. Some people have become widows because, well, they've been orphaned to this war. Some wives or husbands have been widowed because of this. So we need to, government, when I say we, government needs to, it's not in our hands, but maybe we can push them to actually now communicate for governance. And instead of passing information, they need to engage with us instead of speaking to us. So I hope I've been able to answer your questions. And if there is any other clarification needed, please, you can reach me, ask Lisa for my contact. Thank you very much.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us from your wealth of knowledge. And by the way, you're very pretty.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so
very
much.
Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Okay, class, can we put our thanks in the chats? She has done so well tonight. So please put your thanks in the chat, your appreciation there, while I call on the DED for any announcements.
Thank you, ma.
Okay, since it's time for announcement, may I leave? Thank you, guys.
Of course,
thank you. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Bye.
Thanks for the wonderful class.
Thank you.
Thanks for the wonderful class.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
All
Thank
right.
you. Continue tomorrow. Thank you, Jessica. Well done. Classes continue tomorrow. So have a good night, everyone.